Here's the Ekholm contemporary textile artist at Cottonwood Center for the Arts. And today, well, I'm hoping it's a little bit after 1:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And welcome to Facebook Live here in Colorado Springs. And the reason it looks a little awkward is because we're kind of doing two cameras here, so just bear with us on that. I'm kind of looking up and down a little bit. But I have a very special guest today. She's going to be doing a wonderful demo for us. Her name is Tish Lacy Reed. She's an artist here at Cottonwood Center for the Arts. And just bear with me a little bit while I put the cameras into position, and then you'll have a chance to have a look at what's going on. So just hang in there a little bit while I flip them over a little bit. And set this up. Gosh, I am so excited about this, Tish. You have no idea. This has been...
Me too. Okay, we have to open this up here now and then put the tape behind it.
Okay. Now, Tish, right now it's focused right on your workspace rather than on you.
Okay.
So,
that's good.
If you want to duck down a little bit so people can see your face while you're introducing yourself, and then take it away.
Hi, my name is Tish Lacy Reed. I'm an artist here at Cottonwood Center for the Arts. My studio is number 102, and I've just recently discovered this amazing process of using wax and cold wax and oil paint to create imagery. And I'll be showing you some of the pieces at the end of the video that I've already created. It's been around for quite a while, but it's relatively new at this point. I went out looking for some information. There's not a lot of information available. I've worked in a lot of wax. I've done a lot of encaustic paintings, and I've also done batik with wax. The exciting thing about this process is, as most of you know who have done encaustics, you get solid blocks of wax that have been colored, but you have to have a heated surface to melt them on to manipulate the medium so that you can use it effectively. And also it can be very caustic. If you heat it to a point of a smoke, and that's formaldehyde, and it's very dangerous, and you should wear masks and stuff. I don't have a lot of ventilation in my studio here, so this new option is just amazing. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you a demo using cold wax and oil paint. And cold wax is exciting because it's wax and it has a lot of different polymers in it that keep it soft at room temperature. So it's almost like, it almost has like a Crisco effect to it, and so it's very malleable. So you take some of that, and in a second I'll show you how we do the mixing, and you put that on your palette, and then you mix your oil paint into that. One thing that it does is it dulls down your colors. So if you don't like that sort of waxy and caustic appearance, this may not be the medium for you. However, I am just having a blast. So it's a very messy process also, so I recommend that you wear gloves and something to protect your clothing. Okay. I use cradle boards, and this is an example of something that I bought at Meiningers, which is our local art store here, and gesso it. Apparently you can work on canvas, and you can gesso the canvas first, and then it will take the medium quite well. I haven't really worked on canvas yet, and I'm still a little leery that if you get too large, you might have some cracking from it. But anyway, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in my process of experimentation with this exciting new medium.
Excellent.
So what I'm going to do is get my gloves on.
Okay.
And as you can see, I have a black gessoed cradle board already prepared. You can also do white or any other color you want underneath. I really like the contrast of the black against some of the colors. And this medium is also lends itself very well to layering and layering and layering and layering. And someday you can work wet and wet, or you can do one layer and then you can let it dry and come back and manipulate it more later. I always like to say that those echoes underneath, shine beautifully with the finished piece.
Nice.
So, what I have here, and you can use wax paper, anything you want to use. I use this oil box with the paper in it. It's like butcher paper. And as you can see, I put some wax here, and I'm just going to add a couple of colors of oil paint. Once you start working with it, you can kind of determine what works for you in terms of your wax and oil paint ratio. Anything from 30 to 70 to 50 to 50 works well. The more wax you use, the duller it becomes. And one of the nice things about it is it actually speeds up the drying process of oil paint. So usually, depending on how many layers you've built up, or if you've let them dry in between, you can, within a week, it can be ready to go. Now, some people then also at the end of a piece add just a layer of wax and let that dry and then kind of buff it a bit. I have not done that yet because I really like the matted effect that I get with just the wax and the watercolor. This is my little box of toys. All different kinds of little apparatuses that you can use to create texture and interest in your piece. And I'll be using some of these in my demo so you kind of get a sense of that. It's a really good idea to keep a couple of palette knives because one will get contaminated with whatever color you're using. You can wipe off in between, but when you go to retrieve more wax out of your container, and this, by the way, is made by Gamblin, and it's cold wax medium, and Deborah Pruitt has this in the Blue Twig Studio, number 111. If you are in need of this, I haven't checked at Meiningers to see if they carry this yet, but I did order some online because I got a huge gallon container of it. So that's what the product is. I think there's another product on the market, but I'm not sure what the trade name is or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the cold wax, and you can see how pliable it is, and put it in with my paints and just start mixing it. And you can see how it dulls it down, and the more wax you add, the more dull it becomes. And again, this also helps speed up the drying process of oils. So I'm going to wipe this one off. And the main reason for doing that is just to keep your colors pure. So I'm going to add some in here with my ochre, yellow ochre color. Can you kind of see how it dulls out? Can you see that, Tirza?
I definitely can.
Yeah. And then, go back to this one. So again, ratio can be 30 to 70. Some people like 50 to 50. It just, you know, as you practice with it and use it, then, you know, you can get different effects depending on what you decide to do.
Is that something you can brighten up later, or will it stay like that?
You know, I'm sure that there's some sort of a coating that you can put on top that would gloss it up a little bit. But again, I am so new at this process that I just haven't reached that point of trying to research that and find out what it is. Again, there's not a lot of information out there that I was able to find at any rate. Okay. So classes, there are a couple of people in the country that have classes, but most of them have been out of the country or in areas that I haven't had an opportunity to get to yet. Okay. So, then, one of my favorite tools, and you can get these at art stores, and it's a catalyst wedge. Okay. Okay, I don't find myself using brushes very much in this process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a little of this lighter color, and I'm going to start spreading it on. And it's just luscious. I mean, it's just like butter, baby. Just like butter. Butter, butter, butter. Okay. Nice. I'm going to grab a little more of that and bring it in. So you can kind of see the black underneath and the contrast of that. Okay. Now, I will probably cover this whole thing with the wax medium. Cold wax and oil. Let's come in with some bright purple. Oh, wow. Whoa. And you see you can spread it.
Oh, I love how it mixes with the other layers that you're creating. It does,
yes. So, like I say, in some cases you want your first layer or whatever layer you're doing to rest. Okay. Okay.
Now, does this, you have a chance to work with this before it goes all dry, but what if it's drying up while you're working with it? Is there something you can add?
There are a couple of things you can add to it. One of them is mineral spirits, and actually I'm getting ready to do some experimenting with that in making the colors blend together, or covering a whole piece that I've already colored with black, and then coming back in with mineral spirits. You can use Citrusolve. Citrusolve is another one of those things, though it's kind of caustic, so you need to be a little careful about using it.
Right.
So I wipe this is my favorite tool, I tell you. Okay, and then just to really make it interesting, let's add some more color.
Oh, this is really cool.
Isn't it neat?
Oh, wow.
Now, you can tape off your edges if you don't want it to be on the side.
Okay.
Personally, I like it. I think it's very painterly when somebody sees what you've done.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see. And I don't know if you can tell, but see how there's some drag lines through here? And that all has to do with how much pressure you put on. You know, you can make them very linear or more horizontal.
Okay.
Okay. Isn't it awesome?
This is just gorgeous.
Okay, so then, and normally I would cover the whole piece, but since we're kind of on a little video here.
Okay.
Now, my little box of toys comes into play. So, I have several different things. I think this is kind of a cool little comb thing. And that will make some lines in there. Okay. And again, the more layers of paint you have, the deeper and, better impression that you get.
Okay.
This one, I love these. And these you buy at, like, the Home Depot in the painting department.
Oh, look how that is.
And then you can see underneath the colors.
Okay.
And then you can come back with the paint that's still on there.
All right.
And drag that through something else.
How cool. All right.
So that's a good one. You can tell I like that a lot.
I can see.
Yes. And then I have no idea where I got this little tool. But again, it kind of does the graphy thing.
Okay.
So that's another good one.
Oh, so hold that one up. Lift up your thing again so we can see your work again. So we kind of see right in here.
Thin little.
Yeah, we'll let the camera focus on that a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And let's see. I have this tool that also makes a good line. You can make circles or squigglies or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
This is a cuticle pusher backer.
It looks like a pencil with no lead.
Yeah. And this is a skewer, like you would use to put on the grill with some food in it. Okay. And you can get all different kinds of widths and stuff with these. Okay. And then, again, these will echo through later on if you start adding
look at that.
Paint.
Oh.
More paint. And so you can kind of see here where I still have that squiggly, and I may want to keep that, or I could run right through it and get rid of it again.
Okay.
So, in a lot of ways, you can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
It just builds upon itself over and over and over again. And then I use this tool to clean off the edges. And then you can take it and put it back on.
I'm amazed how quickly this goes together.
It really does. Now, again, you're seeing a wet in wet. And a lot of times I do where I let it dry in between the layers and to preserve those marks and intensity of the line.
Okay.
Another trick that a lot of watercolorists use is bubble wrap, which, I just love what it does. So you can come down in here and pull that off, and you get that texture.
That's cool.
But then you can take the paint from that, and you can put it somewhere else and transfer that texture elsewhere.
Very nice.
So that's a really good thing to do. You can use this as a tool also to make little lines. You can see that. Here, I'll show it down here too.
Okay.
And you can make them longer. This is one of my favorite things to do. You'll notice that a lot of my pieces have this in it.
Okay.
And go kind of cattywampus, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
So,
look Look how fun and easy this is.
It really is.
And then you could go over that again with another color if you wanted.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there are no... the only thing I would say is because it is oil paint, any acrylic that you're going to do must be done first. Because oil paint can go on top of acrylic, but not...
the other way around.
Not the other way around, exactly.
Okay.
So that's kind of my demo.
Nice.
Again...
do you have is there a finished work you'd like to show us where you've done this?
Several pieces.
Okay, so people have some idea what they can expect.
Yes.
Okay.
This whole wall here, as you can tell.
Give me a moment here and I will come up here. Whoops, yes, thank you.
Yes, so all these pieces I've done.
Hang on.
Again, they're fantastic. And a lot of them I've done like built up and built up and built up the different layers.
Okay.
And, but there's a couple pieces that I did wet, and before you knew it, it was good.
Very nice. Very nice. So once again, you're in Studio 102.
102,
Excellent.
And I'd love to see you if you have questions or anything about the medium. And,
okay.
it was fun visiting with you. Thank you for your patience.
And thank you for letting me hand hold the cameras here. I know maybe it was a little bit awkward for both of our audiences. But what I'm going to do, Tish, is hand your computer back to you so you could sign off and finish for your audience. And I will do the same for mine. And I want to thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to doing some more of these, and I expect that Tish will want to do some more as well. And thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live. And I will be on again tomorrow afternoon at about 1:30 to share another little tidbit with you.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time and effort. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.